everyone. This is Tatum Gray, and this is Guardian Voice of the Missing podcast. Sorry, you guys, that it was a little late tonight, but I had a meeting that I had to attend and got back from. So I appreciate everybody that is on tonight. Let me know that you're here. If there's any cases that you want me to cover, please feel free to message me, or you can put it in the comments. Going to start out tonight with Caitlin Woolery. She is still missing out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania on November 23rd, 2023. She's 17 years old, 5'3", 115 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. She does have her nose and her ears pierced. She was wearing both of those necklaces, the beaded necklace that does have the name Blake on it, and the cross necklace. She may go by Bug or a little bit. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie, Crocs, jeans around 1:30 p.m. on November 23rd, 2023, when she went for a walk around the block in the area of Oakland Avenue and Uniontown High School in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. She had her cell phone with her, and it last pinged about 12 blocks away in Potter's Barn bar that is at 11 to 11:15 a.m. on November 26, 2023. Since then, her phone has been off and is unable to be pinged her location. She has not been active on social media and has not been in contact with friends or loved ones, which is out of character for her. Loved ones are concerned for her safety and her well-being. If you have any information regarding Caitlin's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call 911 or the Uniontown, Pennsylvania Police Department at 724-430-2929. She is believed to still be in Uniontown area. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Hope things are going well. This next case is Kerry Caroling. He is missing out of Cameron, Arizona on July 7th, 2023. 55 years old. He is now 56, 5 foot, 130 to 135 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He does have a scar in his stomach from a surgery, and he is enrolled in the Navajo Nation. He was last seen wearing a tan jacket and blue jeans. There is very little information about his disappearance, but if you have any information regarding Kerry's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Navajo Nation, Arizona Police Department, Tuba City District at 928-283-3111. And hopefully somebody out there knows where he is. Hi, Arctic Fox. Glad that you can make it. Thank you for everything you do. Arctic Fox is really good. He's a YouTuber, and he does cover a lot of cases out there. So if you guys want another way to get your cases, contact Arctic, and he can get those covered as well. He shares those not only on YouTube, but he also shares them out on Facebook. This next case is Colin Albert Marma. He is missing out in New York on February 2nd of 2024. He is 26 years old, 5'9" to 5'11", 140 to 160 pounds, brown hair or hazel eyes. He could weigh less at this point. They were saying with a lot of his medical issues, he may be even skinnier from the last time that he was seen. He does have light facial hair. He does have bipolar with schizoaffect disorder and was manic at the time of his disappearance. He may be in need of medical help. He does vape and smoke cigarettes. Colin was driving a white 2004 Mercedes ML350 with New York registration KXE6055. However, his vehicle was found in the area of 143rd and Broadway in New York City on February 3rd. He was last seen wearing a pullover black hoodie with Heltman Builders in little lettering on the front, red sneakers, black gym pants, and a black beret. He has been seen in the Manhattan in the Hamilton Heights area. He always has constant contact with his loved ones, and they are very concerned about his safety. If you have any information regarding Colin's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Putnam County, New York Sheriff's Office at 845-225-4300. And with Colin, he could, I think they had reported that maybe he had went into a bar. If anybody sees him, around in any of those locations, he could be, going into businesses and stuff like that. Good evening, Sharon. How are you? Arctic says he does need to get some work on some shorts. He has been dealing with his mom's medical issues. Yeah, Arctic, I saw that, and my prayers are definitely out to you and your mom, and I'm hoping things will get better. This next case is David Dean Fisher. He is missing out of San Antonio, Texas on August 29th, 2023. He is 46 years old, 5'4" to 5'5", 130 to 140 pounds. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen in the San Antonio, Texas area. There's very little information out on his case. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Bourne, Texas Police Department at 830-249-8645. This next case I do cover every week. This is Rebecca Demery. She's missing out of Odessa, Texas on March 1st, 2023. At the time of her disappearance, she was 32. She is now 33, 5'5", 190 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She does wear glasses and has a mole on the left side of her neck. She always wears that gold cross necklace. That is a one of a kind. So if you see anybody that has that, please report it to law enforcement. She does have both ears pierced, but she doesn't normally wear earrings. She does have her tongue pierced. She does have a history of seizures and had recently had one when she was in the hospital. She had that tattoo of a flower on her left arm and the heart design on her right arm. She goes by the name Becca. She was in last contact with loved ones, which usually she spoke to them on a daily basis, and she last spoke to them on the phone on February 28th when she called to see if she could get a ride from the hospital. Her loved ones were out of town and not able to pick her up, but she was seen leaving the hospital with someone that day. Her loved ones did text her the next day on March 1st, and there's been no response from her. She has not been seen or heard from again. Rebecca was last seen wearing that long sleeve gray shirt with the plaid hem, black pants, and gray athletic shoes with a white sole. She was carrying that black and teal backpack you see in that picture, and she was last seen about 3:50 a.m. in southeast Odessa. Foul play is suspected in her case, and if you have any information regarding Rebecca's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Odessa, Texas Police Department at 432-335-4609. You are most welcome, Arctic. This next case is Anthony Gomez. He went missing from Riverhead, New York on April 5th of 2023. He was 15 years old. He is now 16. 5'9", 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo on his arm. I have not been able to find any information of what the tattoo is or which arm. He was last seen wearing LSW, a dark gray jacket, black jogging pants, and brown boots when he had left the Timothy Hill Children's Ranch on Middle Road in Riverhead around 3 p.m. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Riverhead, New York Police Department at 631-727-4500. This next case I have covered before. I have updated. This is Gene Jacob Cloud Jr. He went missing from Black River Falls, Wisconsin on January 25th of 2012. He was 20 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 32, 5'8", 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He has his left ear pierced and an unknown tattoo on his left hand. He may go by the nickname Breezy, and he is a member of the Ho-Chunk Indian tribe. He was last seen wearing black stocking hat, black jeans, and a red hooded sweatshirt, black leather jacket, and black shoes, leaving his girlfriend's home in the evening of January 25th of 2012. He was driving on Highway O near Millston Township, where his vehicle had slid off the road and got stuck in a ditch. Police had stopped to help him, and when they asked for his ID, Gene took off and went into the woods, taking his 6-month-old Dachshund dog. Police attempted to follow him, however, had lost track of him. He was last witnessed to be walking down Highway O a short time later. It is suspected that he may have fled due to being fearful about the accident due to the car being his girlfriend's, or the fact that he had a few outstanding warrants on minor charges. He had recently moved to Toma, Wisconsin to be with his pregnant girlfriend and to support their child. He was working on making some changes in his life, and he was working and went back to school to get his high school diploma. Tribal volunteers were able to track Gene's footprints for over 3 miles. He had walked parallel to the road, however, he had crossed over and back into the woods at times. It is unknown if he had gotten picked up at the last place where his footprints ended. His cell phone and social media have not been active since he disappeared. Family does not believe that he would have left voluntarily. If you have any information regarding Gene's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call Jackson County, Wisconsin Sheriff's Office at 715-248-5357 or Ho Chunk Nation, Wisconsin Police Department at 715-248-2658. And I kind of want to go over the fact that, yes, he did have some legal issues that he was, dealing with, but the reports are saying that, he was really working on making those changes, taking care of those legal things that he had going on. So I still feel that I think sometimes people may overlook sharing people's flyers that may have legal issues and stuff, but the fact remains that he still is a missing person, and we need to keep sharing his flyer and hopefully get him located. As far as I know, the dog has never been located as well. This next case I have covered before. I will be covering it this week on the FBI podcast that I will be doing. This is Cassandra Brianna Ramirez. She is missing out of Bronx, New York on September 19th of 2018. She was 25 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 30. 5'2" to 5'3", 100 to 130 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Her hair is naturally curly, but she does straighten it. She does go by the nickname Cassie. She has a cesarean scar on her abdomen, a scar on her forehead, left pinky finger, and below her left breast, she has 8 from previous stab wounds. Both of her ears are pierced, as well as her tongue and her navel. She does have a birthmark that resembles Puerto Rico. She does have a tattoo, Jaden Isaiah, with a tribal symbol on her arms, and she has a Pisces sign on her hip. She was last seen wearing a black leather jacket, gray hooded sweatshirt, white blouse, blue jeans, and black sneakers, leaving her residence on the 800 block of Melrose Avenue in New York at 11:40 p.m. She was last seen on surveillance footage going down the stairs and going down to Melrose Avenue and then heading east on 161 Street. She said that she was going to meet her ex-boyfriend. His name is John O'Brien, but he goes by Kilo. She has not been seen or heard from since. She did not have her ID, passport, credit cards, or a car when she went missing. Family was concerned when she did not return a week due to she had missed her child's birthday. A week prior to disappearance, she was to testify to the grand jury on a rape that she had endured, and when she went missing, it was dismissed, and it was unclear if this has anything to do with her case. Her ex-boyfriend has changed his story on however he met up with her, or how he claimed he had dropped her off at Hunters Point train station, which there has been no evidence of. Also with Cassandra is, I believe she was just starting a new job as a chef and stuff. So it's very out of her character, not only for missing her child's birthday, but, she was also testifying in that court trial. So it's very out of the ordinary for her to just disappear. If you have any information regarding Cassandra's disappearance or her whereabouts, please call New York City, New York Police Department Missing Persons Squad at 212-894-1943. And like I said, this is one of the FBI cases that I will be covering this week. But also, I know there's been some documentaries out on Cassandra. That is how I found her story originally, and I just recently updated it. This next case, there's going to be 2 cases that are kind of connected. This is Mark Steven Scott. He is missing out of Houston, Texas on April 20th, 1972. He was 17 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 69. 5'11" to 6 foot, 160 to 175 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen when he left his home in Houston, Texas on April 20th, 1972, to spend time with some neighborhood friends. His family got a postcard from Austin, Texas, which said that he was doing well, got a job, and would be home when he had enough money for the lawyer to help him on a previous charge for carrying a weapon. He has never returned home, and they have never been contacted again. Elmer Wayne Henley Jr. and David Oman Brooks, who were accomplices of the serial killer Dean Arnold Correll, known as the Candyman, had admitted that they had lured Mark to Correll's home in the 900 block of Schuler Street and that he was strangled to death the next morning. Henley said that he was buried at High Island Beach along with 7 other victims. Henley killed Correll in August 1973. Initially, authorities believed that Mark's remains were in the boat shed. However, a DNA comparison test indicated a high probability that the one body was related to his mother. The body, however, had dark brown hair and 2 extracted molars, which Mark had lighter brown hair and not missing teeth. Henley insisted that the body had been misidentified, and in 2011, a more accurate DNA test showed the remains belonged to Stephen Kent Sickman, who was another victim of the Candyman serial killer. It is believed that there are more victims of Correll. However, in 2008, a hurricane struck in the area in the section of High Island Beach where known victims were buried has been submerged below sea level. If you have any information regarding Mark's disappearance or you know the whereabouts, please call Harrison County Institute of Forensic Science at 832-927-5000. NamUs says that it is not an active case for the Houston Police Department. However, their phone number is 832-394-1872. So even if it's not an active case, you still should be able to contact Houston and they can get you over to who is handling their case. But it's really sad that hurricane came through because there is believed to be more victims that are buried there. So the next case that I am going to cover kind of goes with this. This is Norman Lamar Prater. He's missing out of Dallas, Texas on January 14th, 1973. At the time of his disappearance, he was 16. He is now 67, 5'8", 130 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. He does have attached earlobes. So Norman was last seen in Dallas, Texas on January 14, 1973 around midnight. He had went to the all-night coffee shop where his mom had worked and was accompanied by 2 teenage boys with shoulder-length hair. His mother did not recognize them, but there was an older Hispanic man whom she knew by sight. He had told his mother that he was heading home and would help her move the next day. He has not been seen or heard from again. It is reported that authorities have looked into him as possibly being a victim of the Candyman serial killer, Dean Correll, who is responsible for sexual assault and murder of at least 28 teenage boys and young men in Houston, Texas, between 1970 and 1973. Correll did have those 2 teenage accomplices that had helped lure victims to him, and he would pay them $200 per person. Each of them would get $200. However, in August 1973, Henley, one of Correll's accomplices, shot Correll and confessed his role into the abductions and the murders. There was 28 bodies that were discovered. 1 has not been identified, and 1 victim remains missing. Norman had lived in Houston with his father during 1970 and 1971 school year in the neighborhood where many of Correll's victims came from, and went to Jackson Junior High School in Houston, Texas, where Henley also went to. He did continue to visit Houston regularly on weekends after he moved to Dallas with his mother. It has never been proven that he is a victim of Correll's, but he still remains missing. If you have any information regarding Norman's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Dallas, Texas Police Department at 214-671-4268. and hopefully someone out there. One of the accomplices that I did find out, not the one that shot the Candyman Dean serial killer, he is still alive. However, the other accomplice, I believe, died in 2020. And the Candyman serial killer, I believe, is deceased as well. He, I don't believe, was in prison very long before he passed. But I thought there was interesting cases into knowing that there's more victims out there. But however, law enforcement with the hurricane and stuff, they, from what I've seen, have not been able to get back in there to see if they can find more individuals. But it's definitely, kind of a coincidence that that Norman went to school with one of the boys. He was in the Houston area during those times, plus he was visiting. So it's definitely very possible that he could be a victim to that. But it has never been proven. I just want to point that out. It's never been proven, but I thought it was important to share on his flyer. This next case is Melissa Dawn Halsley. She is missing out of Des Moines, Iowa on October 18th, 2002. She was 31 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's now 52. 5'4" to 5'5", 90 pounds to 105 pounds. She has blonde strawberry hair and hazel eyes. She does have both of her ears pierced and the left side of her nose pierced. She does have a scar on her abdomen that's about 1 inch on her left thigh, needle marks on both arms, scar on her forearm, right arm, and right hip. She may go by the name Missy. She was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and a beige jacket between 11:45 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. at an apartment complex in the 1700 block of Grand Avenue in Des Moines, Iowa. She had been attending a party at the Oak Ridge apartment early in the evening and then went to another apartment complex on Grand Avenue. It is reported that she is believed to have left the building through an alley door on the north side of the building, setting off the fire alarm. It is reported that she was involved in drugs and prostitution in 2002. However, her loved ones state that she would never have abandoned or stopped having contact with her loved ones. She had previously lived in Elbow, Iowa, and Orlando, Florida. One thing about her case, I did watch a documentary with one of her sisters. The three sisters were very, very close. Believe that they were all kind of in the drug prostitution world and stuff. One of her sisters, I do believe, was murdered. I can't remember if it was the younger one or an older sister that was murdered. So there's one sister that still remains alive. And in the documentary, she had said that her sister would have never lost contact, but she was definitely affiliated with some pretty dangerous people out there. And they are very concerned about her well-being and where she's at. So if anybody knows anything, please reach out to law enforcement. This is probably one of the oldest cases that I have done. This is Philip Joseph McNall. He is missing out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma on May 1st, 1953. He was 30 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 100. 5'6" to 5'8", 160 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen leaving Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and heading to Texas. There is very little information on his case. If you have any information regarding Philip's disappearance or his whereabouts, please call Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Police Department at 405-297-1129. And by looking at the NamUs number, I would say that he has just recently been put into NamUs because that's a pretty big number considering how long he has been missing. So I don't know that this case, I tried to find more information on him, and so far I have not been successful. So if anybody knows him or knows his family, I would definitely like to get a little bit more information out on him. This next case, I did a lot of older cases this week. Robert Cenero Sotelo, he is missing out of Oxnard, California on August 25th, 1978. He was 36 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 81. 5'8", 150 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo on his left arm that says TT of a lady. His back has the Virgin Mary and the upper right arm has a cross. He may use the names Robert Rodriguez or Robert Alvarado. He had left for San Francisco after he got in a family argument. There has been an unconfirmed sighting about him being in North California in 2008. There's very little information out on his case. So if you have any information regarding Robert's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Oxnard, California Police Department at 805-385-7600. He also is in NamUs. This next case is Vincent Dwight Sutton. He is missing out of California City, California on September 14th, 2023. He is 42 years old, 6 foot to 6'3", 150 to 160 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He did have a mustache or a goatee. You can kind of see it in those pictures. He was last seen at the First Baptist Church on Lupine Loop at 4:30 p.m. wearing a brown plaid shirt, blue jeans, and no shoes. He may be confused due to medical issues and a lack of access to his medication, and he may be experiencing homelessness. If you have any information regarding Vincent's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call 911 or the California City, California Police Department at 760-373-8606. And to let you know, Allison is doing a lot of hashtagging in the comments for you guys to help you with hashtagging and getting people to be able to see cases a little bit better or find cases. This is Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond. I was asked to share her flyer again. I most certainly will share her case again. She is missing out of Mescal, Colorado on August 15th of 2019. She was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 35. 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have her septum pierced with that silver circular barbell. She has multiple tattoos, a star on her left hand, skull on her right hand, cat with a bong on her shoulder, live like a lion on her upper chest, star behind her ears, stars on the inside of her forearms, and she does have others. These are the best pictures that I have found so far for her to kind of show you some of the tattoos. Like you can see she has the star. She has several on her hands and stuff. She does suffer from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. She is prescribed medication, which was left behind. She is Cherokee descent. She was last seen wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, and black Nike shoes, walking away from her home in Mescal, Colorado on August 15th, 2019, around 11:30 a.m. She had only been living there in that area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance and had previously lived in Columbus, Ohio area. All of her belongings, including her ID, phone, medication, car, dog, computer, and her tools, were all left behind. She may be living homeless. However, family does believe that she would not have left on her own accord and may be a victim to human trafficking. Loved ones are concerned for her safety and her welfare. There have been tips that she may be in California or Massachusetts. However, there has been very little movement on her case. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alsoma County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608. And the reason that I brought up like the tools that I thought that was important is from what I have found is Rochelle did a lot of mechanical work and craft, like different types of work like that. So for her to leave behind her tools is another thing that was definitely out of character for her. This next case that I'm going to share is William Stewart Edwards. He is missing out of Naples, California on June 1st, 2006. He was 52 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 70 years old. 5'11", 150 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He did have a beard in 1998, so he may have a full beard. He may go by the name Stewart Edwards, W. Stewart Edwards, or Daryl Pence. He was estranged from his family and was known to go long periods of time without contacting them. He last had contact with family members in June of 2006 in the city of Napa. There's very little information out on his case. If you have any information regarding Williams' disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Napa, California Police Department at 707 257 9223. This next case I share every week, and I will continue to share her case until we get Dana Jane Bruce located out of Sedalia, Missouri. She went missing on October 4th, 2008. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 37. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, and green hazel eyes. She is blind in her left eye. Her hair did have red highlights in it at the time of her disappearance and was shoulder length and wavy with bangs. She does have a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and stable scar on her right shoulder. She has a tattoo that you can see pictured there in the upper left arm of a teddy bear with wings and the banner that says Dylan. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel on the front in silver lettering and blue jeans, leaving her children's babysitter's home where she had left them earlier that day so she could go out to the celebration at Malone's Bar on Main Street. She did return, however, to give the babysitters money to watch the children the rest of the evening. So it was reported that the young man that drove her to the babysitter's home was driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck. However, there is evidence that the truck was white and not red on the night of her disappearance. So she was seen in the white vehicle with this individual from Atlanta, Georgia. Police had questioned him after he got arrested in Atlanta for marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. He has never been named publicly, but police were calling him a person of interest. I do have the individual's name. I'm not quite ready to release that name at this time. Like, he was working in the area as a construction worker. They did some searches in those areas of where he was working, including the FBI had came out and had a machine to look through the concrete to look for Dana. And so far with all the searches, that has not, she has not been able to be located. So that is something new, is the fact that the white truck that she was seen in was this individual from Atlanta, Georgia's personal vehicle and not the company vehicle. Also, I wanted to let you guys know there is a reward. The amount is not disclosed, and that award is for anybody that will give information leading to the location of Dana Jane Bruce. I cannot stress enough that people in this case just want to find Dana, especially for her children, to get her located, so her children can have some closure as well as her loved ones. Another thing to add is she was seen that night earlier with that gentleman in the white truck who was from Georgia, who was a construction worker there in Sedalia at the time. However, she did not leave the bar with that individual. It is reported that she left in a red F-150 truck with 2 male individuals that were local to that area. And then they went to an after party that was believed to be in Tipton, Missouri, which was a house party. And at that house party, there have been reports that Dana was shot up with drugs and she passed away, and she was disposed of and taken out of that home. There are at least probably 5 to 7 people that absolutely know what happened to Dana. And with these 5 to 7 people, people are talking. And it's just a matter of time before one person is going to talk and share everything. A lot of people in our case say that they have changed their ways and, they want to do better. The best thing that you can do is give the information that you have on where Dana is and get her located. These are things that have been out there in the public, and have been shared. So I went ahead and shared them. But like I said, there's at least 5 to 7 people that know what happened to Dana that night. They were there when it happened. Um, they may have not been involved in, her being deceased, but you were there. You were there, you saw it, you know what happened. There have been people that out of those 5 to 7 people, if not more people that were there at the party that are talking. So it is just really a matter of time before um, she gets located. It's been 15 years. I think it is time for someone to come forward. Um, in Dana's case, she did leave all of her belongings behind. She doesn't have a bank account, credit cards, phone, or vehicle. It is unknown if she had an ID on her at the time. She is known to be a devoted mother who would never have left or abandoned her children. Foul play is suspected in Dana's missing persons case. Also, that day, she had signed a lease for a new home for her and her children. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-826-6100 or 660-827-7823. Or you could call the Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178. Again, and I will say this again, I know people are watching my podcast to see what all is out there. The people that are watching the podcast and everything, you know what happened to Dana. It's time for you to come forward. You could be anonymous. Just give up the location of where she is for her children. Her children are suffering with a mother not being missing. It's time to bring it forward. Like I said, there's a white truck involved. There's red F-150. She did not leave the bar after the bar closed with the gentleman from Georgia, at least not in his vehicle. But she did leave with 2 people that are known to the Sedalia area. They are very well-known individuals, and they are known to the family. And like I said, in Dana's case, this is close to home. There are people that are close to Dana that know what happened, and it's time to come forward and get that conscience off your mind, sitting there worried, living with this, and, how people could look in the face of their children, excuse me, Dana's children every day or here and there, knowing the truth of what happened to their mother. Shame on you. It is time for people to come forward and talk about what really happened to you. You're most welcome. I'm not for sure who said that. Anything I can do for the family and the loved ones to get them located, you are very most welcome, Ellen. I will continue to share Dana's case and try to get justice for her children because it is time. It's been too long. So again, you can be anonymous. And again, people are talking. I know they're talking. Information, has came in here and there. A lot of stuff is coming together on Dana's case. It is an active case. And like I said, the people that are closest to her know the truth, and it's time to come forward. At least give up the location of where she's located. That's the least she could do for her children, is let her be located so they don't have to think, the worst of, did their mom just leave them? Because from what I know about Dana is she would never leave her children. She loves her children. She would want the best for her kids. And it's just not good to let them suffer. So again, I know people are watching, and just so you know, that white truck information is information that's out there, and it is prevalent to the case, as well as the red truck of the 2 individuals that are very well known in Sedalia, and reporting that they still live in Sedalia. So nobody can break the law. And that's all I'm going to say about those individuals right now. So please, if someone could come forward with an anonymous tip, that would be great. This next case is William Darrell Lou Hensley. He is missing out of Elkhart, Indiana on December 15th, 2023. He's 43 years old, 5'9", 205 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have multiple tattoos, as you can see. One of his arms has a cross with a banner above it, and the other has a star and another tattoo of numbers. I could not find a better picture of that tattoo, but he also has a tattoo on his hand as well. He may go by Will. It is reported that he was last seen on the morning of December 15th, 2023. There is a video that has been given to law enforcement that shows him begging for his life with other individuals present. He has not been seen or heard from since. From everything that I've seen, I will not release the name of the individuals that were in that video or individuals that people are feeling that they are the persons of interest or the reason why he is missing. That is to protect the integrity of his case. I will tell you it is out there on the internet if you want to find out who it is. However, this is very close to home. Again, another case very close to home. There are persons of interest. People are not cooperating. But like I said, there is a video on there. If anybody has any information, foul play is very much suspected in his case. There is concern for safety and welfare. The things that are going out on social media about what has happened to him. My heart really goes out to the family if these stories are true. But that's one thing when we discuss these cases and stuff is please, think about the families and everything. And if you know something, then you need to go to law enforcement. I mean, that's the other big thing. Go to law enforcement. Let them know what you know. Anything that has been found out on the internet has been reported to law enforcement. So if you have any information regarding William's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call 911 or the Elkhart County, Indiana Homicide Unit at 574-295-2822 or the Elkhart, Indiana Police Department at 574-295-2824. Definitely the family, has asked to please share his case, get it out there. Somebody, again, in this case, somebody knows something about what has happened to William. Like I said, unfortunately, the stuff that I'm seeing out on the internet is just terrible. The things that are people saying, I really feel for the family on his case. Like I said, foul play is suspected. They do have some people that they are people of interest. But if anybody knows anything, to please come forward. This last case that I am going to share tonight is William Dorian Toney. He's missing out of Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania on November 19th of 2016. He is 20 years old. At the time of his disappearance, he would now be 27, 6 foot tall, 150 pounds, brown hair, and brown eyes. He did have a light goatee. He does have that large tattoo on the right side of his chest with WP written in the same fashion as the Warner Brothers logo. He was last seen wearing a blue hoodie, white t-shirt, black Adidas pants with the 3 white stripes on the leg, tanner brown hat with the Polo logo on it, same Polo, dark green sneakers, carrying a blue book bag, walking with 2 unknown African-American males in the Darby/Sharon Hill area. It is reported that he always carries his ID. It is also reported that his phone had last pinged to an abandoned house on 5114 Randstead, and when the area was searched by canines, they did not make a major discovery. It is reported that a tip that skeletal remains of somebody got removed from that abandoned house around 3 months prior to them getting that tip and being able to look at that location. But that has not been confirmed. If you have any information regarding William's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the East Lansdowne, Pennsylvania Police Department at 610-253-2308. And again, someone out there knows something about where William is. Those are all the cases that I do have for you guys tonight. I will be doing the FBI files, and I'm still working on the unidentified and stuff to do a podcast with that as well. If you guys have any cases out there that you would like me to cover, please do. Like I said, I appreciate everybody joining me tonight. it was a little bit later, so I do appreciate you guys all joining me. There is a lot of different things that are in the works. I know someone is working on doing something for the families where they can have like a support group page or anything like that. Like I said, a lot of the families do really good supporting other families, and I cannot thank the families enough for the things that they share. And they trust in everybody with the information and trusting these cases to get out there. Thank you for all the law enforcement, private investigators, the advocates out there. There's some really, really great advocates, but I also still want to warn people to be careful of individuals that they get involved in their cases. It's always good to, check who they are and what they do and how they do handle cases. So just be safe out there. If anybody needs anything, you can always contact me, send me a message, email, or whatever. Again, if you guys have any cases out there, just let me know, and we will continue to be the voice of the missing. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening and a great rest of your week. I will get the other podcast posted for you guys to see. Sending prayers, and you guys have a blessed night.